You cannot succeed at being Mrs. Right. You can't succeed at romance without Christ. That's got to be brought up in this discussion of Mrs. Right. Do you fear the Lord? Do you love Christ? Is this the cry of your heart? Do you choose to prefer Him? Do you long to glorify Him? Do you long to please Him? And if you do, this is just going to flow out. And you get more acquainted with these truths, this just flows out. And it is. It's flowing out of so many women in this group. And that's exciting to see. So, ask yourselves those questions. Do you dress well? Are you adorning Christ-likeness? Are you career-minded? Are you thinking about biblical priorities for God's calling on your life? Do you understand gender equality and gender difference? Are you thrilled about carrying out the unique function of women? So here's what happens when feminism reigns in the church. There are so many, like Titus 2, there are so many functions that can only happen when the godly women step up and are faithful and are obedient, that if there is total gender equality, there is so much function of the church cannot happen. The massive majority of the church just couldn't even function. There are so many unique functions of the church that are women-only functions, like Titus 2, 3-5. And then fourthly, are you a man-fearer? Are you a man-fearer? Well, before we close in prayer, let me ask you guys, are there any questions? Anything that I can help you clarify? Yeah, Eric. I don't think you're Mrs. Right yet, so you got to ask some good questions.
I'm trying to figure out what I think you started at Genesis 3:17, but the verse right before it, 3:16, says, "To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your pains in childbirth. In pain you will bring forth children. Yet your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." So that's the curse. Now, do you think that's when it says your desire will be for your husband, is that talking about for the husband's role, or is that talking about for just to be with the husband?
Yeah, no, it's not saying you're actually going to like your husband now. Here's the curse. You're actually going to enjoy being with your husband now. Actually, ladies are like, oh yeah, I mean, no, what that's saying is her desire for him is a dominating desire. It is a dominating desire. Look at the next chapter, Genesis 4. And when Cain sins, in verse, let's say, just pick it up in verse 5. Cain, pick it up in verse 4. Abel for his part brought of the firstlings of his flock and their fat portions, and the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering. But for Cain and his offering, because he brought, plant life, not an offering that was approved by the Lord, for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain became very angry and his countenance fell. He started getting depressed, he's self-pitying because he couldn't worship how he wanted, and God said it wasn't approved. And so then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will not your countenance be lifted up?" Now listen to this. "And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door, and its desire is for you. But you must master it." It describes sin crouching at the door, desiring to devour Cain, desiring to overtake him. And he's saying, you must conquer it. You must master it. So he's saying that part of the curse is the woman's desire will be for the husband to overcome the husband and to take over leadership, to usurp authority, he's not doing it right, so I need to take authority. I need to take leadership. That's part of the curse. The curse for men is they're prone to want to just be lazy. We just like, man, I don't want to lead. I'm tired. I'm lazy. I'd rather just not. I don't want responsibility. I don't want. That's part of the curse, is just be lazy or overreact the other direction and just totally domineer and not love and with sacrificial love. So here he says in Cain, sin is desiring you, and I think that's what he's talking about in the curse. There is that the woman's desire would be, your desire will be for him. You will desire to overtake him, usurp leadership, take over authority in a way that's not appropriate. And so you're going to have to battle that. You're going to have to deal with that. And so that's what I think he's getting at there. It's a good question. Any other questions? Or do you have anything follow up on that?
No, that's good.
Okay. Any other questions? I figured a whole host of issues come up. That's a testimony of how unfair it was or how godly you are? Probably both.